Well, good day, YouTube. Sorry, I just about dropped you there. So today is an absolutely perfect day. There's absolutely no humidity, and it's really not that. It's warm, but it's not. The humidity is not dragging you down, kind of thing. So beautiful sunny day, of course, too. Really nice. So, anyways, I'm gonna run down to the garage here and start peeling apart the front side of this driver's side of the van down here, and spray some stuff on the things I got to try to get apart, let her soak for today, and then maybe we'll get back at her tomorrow or something, tearing it right down and then redoing the bearings. So, but anyways, let's head her to the garage. Come on, buddy. There you go. Okay, so first obviously we've got to pull the wheel off, and she's got one of those locker doughy thingy nuts on it, so you got to put that special little key on it. Now which one is it? Because they all look the same. This one doesn't seem to have one. The other side had one. I don't know why that one doesn't. Unless I'm not looking at it right. That one there, that's got the special dewies on it, right? So that's supposed to fit in and grab on like that, but it's funny, this side doesn't have one. Very interesting. They all look like a regular nut here, but anyways, let's pull this wheel off. And I think I hear my turkey friends coming up. They won't like that noise. Get off. Stubborn one. Ah! There we go. They got a little bit of dirt on them, I guess. There we go. Okay. Pop this tire off. Pull it out of the way for a sec. We'll get the nuts here, because you end up usually kicking them if you leave them on the ground. Put them up out of the way. Now we got to get our tools and pull off the main brake caliper and stuff here with these nuts in here. There's one there, and then there's one sort of down lower, that guy. So let's get those wrenches out and we'll get that yanked off. And you're going to want a little oh, where did I put it now? Might actually be in the box here. A little piece of wire. Nope. Okay, so we are good to go. You're going to want a fairly beefy wrench to get those bolts off, because they are on there pretty good. And I got a little wound to show for, so no, not too bad, doesn't hurt. But anyways, get these off, and what you're going to want to do is take your piece of wire and tie her onto your brake caliper somewhere and hang her up out of the way up here or something out of the way, and we should be good to go and get this off then. Okay, so pull your rotor off, throw her down underneath there somewhere, don't lose your bolts, put them down on your dewey there. Now this is the bearing and the hub assembly in here. And there's a sensor there, of course, so you got to get that taken apart, and there'll be the new one that comes out and mounts into the dewey there, so we can actually probably just separate the plug right now. And you want to have a look in here for any corrosions, or doesn't look too bad on that one either, so it's pretty good. Now there's a plate here too that gets sandwiched between the two pieces here, so you want to try to maybe get this oh, I don't think I got my screwdriver with me, my little feller. No, of course not. But anyways, there's a little clip there too. You can see that clip thing there. You want to kind of push those things, smush them together, and then you can get that right out of there. And next step we can do is either take this nut off of here, this big mother. You're going to need a big mother nut there for that, or a socket. And you got to take her apart here at the strut. So you got to take these two bolts off, these nuts off, and these have a spline that's spline in about that far into these things, so you're never going to turn this here. That's why they put things to sort of hold, but not really to crank her off. So we got to get that off too, and that'll kind of let her flop this way. Now the tricky part was getting these bolts out. There's 3 that hold it on, and to get this shaft, which has huge splines in there too, out of this bearing housing, because in behind here there's a big seal. You can see that seal down in there, and it's all stuck and jammed into there, and she's a real pain. So hopefully we can do this without having to, sometimes I have to bust these steering tie rod ends off and put new ones on, just so you can get them out. But this one, luckily, well, the other side I could flex this enough out of the way that I could pull that shaft out so I could work on the bearing part of it. So we got the Dewey all tied up, as you can see, up out of the way. So let's maybe grab our big socket there, and we'll see if we can get this nut off. So this is a big 1 5/16" socket on here, and it's pretty decent. It probably is a metric size too that will go on there. Make sure we got her off. We got her off. Let's give her. Now that's whatchamacallit, crushed nut or whatever they call that thing in there. So it's going to sound like it's not coming, but it is coming. Just like that. And we're good there. We'll take that nut, put it aside. So yeah, you can see the big splines and stuff in there. That's where this thing gets really jammed into this bearing housing and stuff. It's usually a nightmare to get it out. The other one was, I had to really beat on her. And I even tried my gun there, didn't do nothing. So what I had to do was I put that nut back on just flush like, and kind of learned a lesson because something got mushed over, I don't know how, but a few threads back on the bottom on the other one, so I just shaved it down a bit so enough I get the nut back on, and away she went. So, but I might use a big punch this time, sort of like the idea of the impact gun, but right in there and then just smash her that way good. So now you could probably start to try to get this shaft actually apart here now, which actually might not be a bad idea because it's got well, there's not much play there at all, so she's in there real good. But before you loosen all this stuff up, but sometimes I like to do that to get everything moving and stuff, and then if you have to, you can put one of these pins back in to hold her kind of thing while you're beating on stuff, right? And we need to get our socket on there, and a little bit of a hammer we got here. You can hammer a fair bit on these without mushing them. If you notice, they leave this little bit of a thinner studdy thing here before the big threads, so if you happen to mush it down a bit, you've got a bit of room, you can clean it up and then use it and put it back in. But they are actually a fairly hard bolt, so the other two popped right out actually pretty good, because all you really need to do is just push it out of these splines. That's all that's really holding it in there. So, but anyways, we got to get our should have brought my socket set over, but we got to get the one for that. Alright, should be able to bust these off pretty good. You see her loosening up, coming apart there. One. And two. Oops. So these just pull off. Put them aside too. Now, just give her a little tap. Starting to loosen up and come apart. Just like that. There we go. So I'll show you these. You can see the spline on them there. That just mushes inside here and holds her together. That's how they work, so it's pretty cool. And we should be able to pull apart here a little bit. If all comes well. Might need two hands for this though, because it's held together with all that goop and stuff in there. So one sec, I'll get two hands here. Alright. There we go. So we got her a bit looser there now. And that shock won't go any down lower than that because you got her up in the air to push down as far as she'll go. So you got a bit of play here. So you got a bit of movement there. And you can pull her out a bit. So Now the thing is, yesterday I soaked this one pretty good with my Move It stuff, which I might do and let her sit for a while. That should actually go back in a little bit more yet. Stay a bit there just so I can spray some junk in there and give her a good spray here. Let her sit for a while. Now, goes in a little bit here. And I'll give these a little spray, although it probably won't do too much for that. But also another big fight is getting this whole entire bearing assembly out of the inside of this axle hub thingy here. Because you got steel against aluminum, which is, you know, not a good combination. And it usually ends up being a bit of a nightmare. Alright, so I didn't really let that sit for too long, but I want to try just giving her a few bashes there. And like I said, I tried my impact gun air hammer there, but it didn't really work, so. Ooh boy. This one is going to be stubborn too. Okay, I'm just going to closely put her back together here. Wish I had something else to go on there to actually hold this thing. Wowee. That is solid, boys. Don't think she's moved at all yet. Well, I hate to do her, but the way I did her yesterday was like that. Get her fairly flush there. And it allows you to get a bit better beat on it because you're not worried about smashing your hand so much. Now, can you guys still see that? Hang on a second. Okay, let's try this again here. Now, one good thing about these shafts is you got lots of shaft there, so if you do mess up the ends of the threads, you can sort of smooth them off with a grinder. Wowee! That's a good one today, boys. Holy snapping, I'm gonna have to let that soak a bit more, I guess. That is just not wanting to let go. Not good. Don't want to mush her too hard. Alright. Well, we'll just spray some more in here, I guess. Try to get a little bit in behind even. That'll help anyways. Kind of mushed it a bit already, I can feel it there, of course. But I don't know any other way of doing her. Yesterday I even had like a big puller on here, pushing on the center, pulling on this. Nope, not gonna do her. Maybe we'll try again with Nope, she's just gonna need some time to soak, boys. Time to soak. Well, I guess that's about as far as I can go right now, till we can pull that shaft through. We'll let her soak for a wee bit there, and see if we can get that out, of course, and then get the bearing off. 3 bolts in behind, they're usually not too much fun, but if you can get the shaft pulled out and out of the way, you can put the impact on those little bolts and then buzz them right out. So if you're doing them by hand, yeah, they're not much fun. Because they are sort of buried, but once we get that shaft out of there, she should go all right. So, but anyways, we'll just let her soak, and we'll get back to this project maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.